and we're back, right? Maybe, perchancebly. What the heck? Where the heck is my channel, bro? Need some water. Blech. Okay. Chat is chatting.
Hola.
Chat. Yep. Perfect. Post will be posting. Just some more FNAF Theories live. I forgot what I chose to do. We're gonna just timeline. You gotta pick that one image again. Where was it? It was, no, that was 2 years ago. Oh my god. Or not 2 years ago, but it was like a full year ago when I made that video. Jesus. That was a while ago. Wow, that was... Wait. Fudge, yeah. That's what I figured was gonna happen. Because I was playing off of a different save. Yeah, so... Which one was at 6? Was the auto at... The auto wouldn't have been at 6. Save slot 0 is at 6. January 20th, 2024. Or it's the one at the other down. It's June 1st, 2024. June 1st. Or November 16th, 2020. No, that's recent. December 31st, 2024. We'll go with that one, I guess. Oh, yeah. I usually save back here when I'm like done, so should be it. Let's look for this stupid thumbnail, right? No, this is for Absolute Doom. Oh my god, can't believe that was that long ago. That's terrifying. Oh no, I don't want to use a game. No, no, are you kidding me? Oh man, that's unfortunate. Okay. I think it would be under downloads. Oh yeah, it is. Oh, I mean, I don't want the freaking... I don't want the Game Theory logo in there. It's copywriting. Let's scroll down again. Do 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 do. Is it this one? Why are there two? I'm gonna freak out. I know for a fact I use my own freaking logo for that. I swear I use my own. Why is it not even under downloads either? Ah, grid art. That's what's in the box. Wait, that wasn't even a real video I made. I think that was an April Fool's video. Well, bro. Ah. It wouldn't be a screenshot. That wouldn't make sense. I hope it wouldn't make sense. Yeah. Oh my god, this is annoying. Okay, well, it wouldn't be under camera. It's not a freaking picture I took with my camera. Ah, okay. It has to be in my downloads, but... June 2024? Yeah, no, yeah, this is where it should be in August. But it's... Oh, there it is. And it's got the game... Okay, fine. We shall use the Game Theory logo. I don't want to, but we will. This is a nightmare, by the way. Okay. I don't know why I have two thumbnails, sometimes they're the same. I swear to God I didn't use... whatever. I swear it, bro. I swear it. Gotta get the link too. It's like a whole thing. Share, copy link. Put it in the thing. Eventually I'm gonna get like banned for this, but it's okay. Okay. We'll see, I guess. We'll see. We shall see. Not Markiplier picking up a freaking series after 2 months of not doing it. Awesome. Oh, it's not what I thought it was going to do. Do. The whole song under that's crazy. Just about to check something, and I forgot what it was. Freddy, are you here? Oh, hi, Freddy. Jesus Christ. Okay, just don't hurt me, Freddy. I swear I was gonna check something, and it wasn't what I'm checking right now. I don't think. I think I just fully forgot what I was gonna look at, which is annoying. Maybe that's what I was trying to check. I honestly don't remember. Yeah, hi Freddy. Yeah. Yeah, hi Freddy. Oh, my controller's been charging this whole time. That's not good at all. Okay, I'm on the hunt for Michael, not Michael Afton's. Yes, Michael Afton's room. Yeah. The issue is I can only think of one way to get down, and it includes like I need Freddy for it, or else it won't work. Which is annoying to say the least, and shattering to say the most. What if I shot you, Roxy? What would you think of that, huh? I don't know. She didn't think about it, I guess. These are the max brightness set. No, they're not, because I think I changed them. That's right. I changed them because I'm silly like that. For the other stream, we gotta go all the way here. Oh yeah, this is how I remember. How I remember it being. Well, wait, but well, the contrast up probably makes it look terrible, huh? I feel like this, yeah, this makes it more muddy, which is kind of what I want. Awesome. Need more water. This is unfortunate. What reels am I being sent, bro?
My hair is ruined.
Am I about to get killed by Roxanne freaking Wolf? Fred, oh, Fredster, I didn't mean to press that. Oh, man. Oh, you teleported anyway, so it didn't much matter now, did it? Huh, Freddy? Huh, Fredster? Holy crap, my aim is freaking... Freddy, you okay, man? Come back here, Staffbot. Wow, you're just immune. Awesome. This is like, does not want to work. Unfortunate. fucking jockey or whatever, I don't know. Room. Whee! I should have played something actually interesting. Well, I mean, I don't want to play secret. Yeah, I don't want to play secret. I need to edit. Holy crap, I need to edit that video.
What are you doing? I am your friend. I cannot see.
Are you my friend, Freddy? Are you really my friend, huh? Really? Are you really my friend, brother, huh? I don't think you are.
Gregory, what are you doing?
I'm helping you, man.
I am your friend. I cannot see. Why though? Gregory, what are you doing?
I'm helping you, Freddy. I'm helping you. I'm helping you, man. Don't even worry about your little Freddy face about it. Oh, good. You're back to normal. I can do this again.
I am your friend. I cannot see. Why though?
You'll be fine, dude.
What are you doing? I am your friend. I cannot see.
Okay, I think those are all the voice lines he's got. I think he kills me eventually if I keep that up. Why is there motion blur? Can I turn that off? I just realized there's motion blur. Colorblind filter, quality preference, general? No? Interesting. Huh. I wonder why you can't change the motion blur. I mean, it might be something that's like coded in. That would be stupid though, but wouldn't, you know, I guess. Okay, Fredster. I don't want to have to do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying, Freddy? Because what I need to do is difficult, and I just don't want to. I don't want to go down there. I really don't want to go down there, Freddy.
Right?
We're gonna have to. I have to go all the way. Freddy, come here. Oh my god. Freddy, come on. We have a freaking journey ahead of us, dude. We have a freaking journey ahead of us here. Let's go. Gotta go all the freaking way back to where it started. Yeah. This is gonna be annoying. It's okay. It's not, but whatever. We will find the secret room, Freddy. We will find it. It's hiding from us, but we'll find it. Freddy, come on. They should really have Vanny patrol here or something. This area is just like dumb. Freddy, what are you doing? Oh, thank you for opening that for me, or not. Okay, Freddy, I just need you to get me in here and then we're good. Alright, Fredster, come on. I think I can freaking jump this. Or not. Okay, fine. Hello, mall, bot, staff, thing. Okay. There was like no point to that. Oh god. No. No. Who are you calling? Who the heck are you calling, bro? Okay. Come on, Freddy. I know this is somewhere. This is where you go. And then Nessa goes up here, and then I don't think this goes anywhere. Oh. Is that Monty I just heard? I pray it wasn't. I wonder what the point of this room. Like, there's so many rooms where it's just like, what's the point? I'm pretty sure these stairs go to nothing. What is this? Oh, this is the baby room. It's marked with something too. Oh, they both are. This is Roxy Raceway. This is like the underneath of Roxy Raceway? Perchancebly? And then this is like parts and service, but it's just okay, Monty, don't kill me. This just leads to the baby room. Okay, whatever. We'll find this location. Isn't that right, Freddy? Where are you? Yeah. We're gonna find your room, Freddy. This is your room. Considering you're most likely Michael himself. Oh, this is the help wanted room. Okay. Curse of Dreadbear room, whatever. Ugh, I hate that. It's PS5. Why does it still need to load stuff in? Freddy, I'm beginning to think I don't know where this stuff is. What are you thinking? I think I'm lost. So this gets me where? To here. Oh, and then this is the sorting thing from the... And then Mangle pops out of the vent. And if I go here, I fall out of the map, so maybe I don't want to do that, or else I'll get locked. Freddy, where the heck is this hecking room? It's hiding from me. Because that just leads there. Oh, wait. No. This is where I want to go. Because this leads to the chase sequence. And I think that's where I need to be. Because this goes to... Yeah. This way. Right? That... Ooh. Yikes. Okay. Down here. Oh, I already did it. Oh, look at me. Freddy, come here. This is your room, buddy. This is your room where, you live. Apparently. Wait, do I have no...
Hello,
Oh, I have one
Vanessa.
CD.
How are you feeling today? You look a little tired. Well, it's been a while since we last spoke. How's your anxiety been? You did so well with your calming protocols when we first worked together. Are you still using those? Yes? Okay, good.
Why isn't she
Well,
speaking?
now I understand there's a new issue. It came on just recently, rather suddenly. Can you tell me about it?
What issue? I've been doing my job. I come in and sit at my desk and do my work.
I don't know. People who thought this
Yes,
looked like the
yes, of
MCM
course you
logo,
do.
I don't see
Your
it.
performance reviews are good. But a routine check of your online history has revealed that you spent quite a bit of time with
Why does this
someone
room have to be so out of the
in
way for it to be
conversation.
something so, like,
We have
important?
transcripts, and I've read them. But it's not clear what you're talking about in these conversations. I can't make sense of it. You must be getting something from these that I'm not getting, right? Who are you talking to in these?
No one. Sometimes I talk with Lewis. He's in the marketing department. He's
Freddy,
Yes, I see Lewis here.
what are we thinking,
But
man?
there's someone
Is this
else.
proof that Michael's still alive, huh? Nobody else would know what this room looks like except for him. I don't know how they transferred the butters, though. That's strange. What are we thinking, Freddy? What are we thinking? There's a sun clock. You thinking that's important? I mean, this game came out before all the Mimic stuff, so I don't know how important sun and moon are. But, you know, if Edwin is moon and the whatever the mom is Fiona's son. I don't know. It could be an Edwin thing, but I don't think that makes sense. There's also a fan in here, which isn't plugged in. There is popcorn in here. Like, someone was living in here, because there wouldn't be a fan, like, quality of life stuff and, like, a poster. Like, what would be the point of decorating in here if there wasn't anyone living in here? Michael's still alive, Freddy. That's the point of this. Show that he's never done. You know, Freddy? You know, screw you. Screw. Why aren't you dying?
Gregory, what are you doing?
Why can't I hear Roxanne? What is going on? Freddy, why can't I hear Roxy? Where does this get me to? This gets me to the atrium, right? Or the main, the entrance, I guess. The lobby, whatever. Right, so I go up the, wait. Sure, yeah, I go up the stairs. And then this should take me to... Oh, this is, wait, no, this is broken. This isn't gonna let me through. This is annoying. Freddy, I gotta go all the way back. Oh my god, this is terrible. This is actually terrible. Okay. Hold on. What is going on? Nothing is going on. Okay. Anyways. Freddy, come here. Jesus Christ. Did I just go in a big circle? Did I just go in a circle? I did. Nice. How did I screw that up so bad? Oh, I went left instead of right. Is there another way I could have gone? You know, before the patch, you used to be able to still take that route. Now you're just screwed now. It's so annoying. How am I this lost? From here. There we go. There's so much help wanted stuff down here. It's weird. I don't think it ever got explained. Nothing in this game got explained because they were... Oh, shut up, Freddy. I'm so far away from you, dude. That's your own fault at that point. I mean, I think, like, the baby stuff is important still. Because, like, the sister location stuff is still being referenced, like, 3 games later. But, the other stuff, I don't know. I mean, help wanted, security breach are obviously going one way, and then... what is happening? Hello? Montgomery? Is that you? Freddy, is that Montgomery out there? It is. I can't even get out there, so... Freddy, I'm gonna need your assistance to get out here. You know, God forbid I go through that door. Hello, Montgomery. I forgot I can sprint while crouched, huh? Just kind of makes that pointless. I wish they hung out in their rooms more often. I think that'd be cool. Like, if you could at least just see them while you were here. But no, nothing. God forbid they make the game actually good either. Or do anything helpful for that matter. I don't know how they made this and were like, yeah, this is good to release. And like whoever play tested it, shame on them. Come back soon. This is Monty Golf, isn't it? Yeah. Screw you, staff bot.
Bonjour.
Hello. I guess, you
Nice
know,
to see you again.
totally, because I definitely remember. Totally remember. Yep. I remember things. That's me. I definitely know what you're talking about. I want to see Music Man. I really should have picked a different game than Security Breach because there's nothing for me to do in this game. I don't know what I should have played Into the Pit. So I should have done. Whatever, it's fine.
No worries. I was in your last stream for a little bit.
Oh. Okay. Perchancevely, no. There are a couple people who are like spamming the chat. Music Man, are you in here? Oh, you totally are, dude. Can I kill you? No, I can't. What are you listening to, buddy? You're really jamming out over there. Can I get on stage with you? Nah. You're listening to nothing. You suck. I think Chica's the one in here. I'd rather not get killed by Chica, of all people. Oh, wait, no, it's Monty. Okay, never mind. Goodbye.
So, what theories are you discussing today?
Oh, we're talking about the part I got hung up on last time about the deaths order of deaths, the order of deaths. I'm having second thoughts about my view on that. I don't know. I really wish my crying child is a robot thing. Because in order for me to believe like the thing I want to believe for the order of deaths and why and stuff, I then have to like disregard some of my other theories on other thing. It's like I don't know. I can't. Yeah. In order for me to for other like theories I believe in to work, it would mean that other theories that I believe in are false. So that one of them's got to be wrong. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm wrong somewhere, and it's probably the robot crying child thing. Although they really want it to look like the crying child is a robot. I'm not gonna lie, that's like what they're pushing towards, but maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's hard to really try to keep all of your theory babies alive.
I mean, maybe they are. It's all a red herring. I doubt it. I doubt it's all a red herring, but I mean, you know, it doesn't make sense for the crying child to be a robot the whole time, narratively, but they've also never done the right idea narratively ever, so it's really a toss-up with that, but I guess my issue with the crying child being a robot is that I believe in the idea that there's two souls in Golden Freddy, and that just can't work if the crying child is a robot when he's bitten, because then there's no soul to transfer into the robot.
Landrock Freddy, hi.
Hi, 5-5 Freddy. So I guess that's the issue there. It's like he can't have a soul if he's already a robot. And I mean, if he is, it would be David's, and then that just doesn't make sense for David's soul to be in the. Yeah, I don't know. And then similarly, like Gregory, if the crying child,
CC being a robot mess up the death order exactly?
because like I said, if crying child is robot and then there's only one soul, or then there's no souls in Golden Freddy, um, but Golden Freddy shows up before Night 6 in FNAF 2, and I think that Cassidy was part of the DCI, not the MCI, but Golden Freddy wouldn't be able to show up in FNAF 2 if there were no souls in him before that point. But I think it makes sense for Cassidy to die in the FNAF 2 murders. I hate calling it the DCI because I don't know. I think the DCI that it shows is actually just the MCI, because at that point there was only one known set of murders, so why would they show a second set? So the MC, whatever. Cassidy, I think, was killed in FNAF 2. But Golden Freddy, I think, does show up on Night 3 or something, but it's like super rare. But it's after Night 6, or it's on Night 6 that like he shows up a ton, and that's when the murder happens, is day 6, so I think that's tied together. Yeah, so if Crying Child's a robot, then it would be impossible for Golden Freddy to show up before then, but he still does. And also, Elizabeth, Crying Child seeing Charlie's death is something I thought happened, but
So CC being a robot, and Cassidy dying in 1987, would mean no spirit would be in Golden Freddy in FNAF 2. Interesting.
yeah, I mean, well, after at Night 6 and 7 there would be, but I think he shows up on Night 3. I looked this up because I was like really confident in this theory, and then I learned that it was off. But I guess it would make sense if the Crying Child's soul was in Golden Freddy, and then something Cassidy dies, and then that's why he shows up a bunch on Night 6. So I feel like it's trying to point towards the idea that the Crying Child's a robot, but I don't know. And then similarly, if the Crying Child isn't a robot, Gregory, I don't know, because obviously the Mimic is still around and Gregory is around, so they're not the same robot.
So do you think the DCI happened during Jeremy's week or something?
I don't think the DCI is I think that is the MCI. I don't think I don't think the DCI happened. Because at that point, in like when that cutscene came out, when that game came out, FNAF 1 was the only other game. So why would Scott show 5 more murders before they've even happened? Because I'm pretty sure that cutscene's before like the 5th or 6th night, which is when the actual murders happen. So like, why would they show them beforehand? Same with like the Foxy Go minigame or whatever. Like,
Okay, so do you think Cassidy died during Jeremy's shift in FNAF 2 then?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, because Jeremy's the night guard, but I think so. Cassidy got killed on day 6. Jeremy worked night 6. Then Jeremy got moved to the day shift. He got bit for like the last birthday party that was going to be there. They're going to close anyways. Then Michael comes in for night 7. He deals with it, and then the place closes. A lot of people don't think Michael is Fritz Smith, which is weird to me, but I you know, people say weird things on Reddit. I don't like it. They have weird takes that make no sense, but it's fine, I guess. They can think what they want to think, but they're most likely wrong.
Okay, now I see the contradiction.
It is like not showing the chat on my phone, which is, oh, there it goes. Awesome. I was going to exit out, go back in. Anyways, the issue is the whole crying child robot thing is just like, I want that to be right because that makes the most sense with all the stuff it's giving us, but if it's not, then I just don't get what the point of Secret of the Mimic was. I guess I just didn't understand it then if that wasn't what they were trying to say. Because like they're showing a child-sized robot in the crying child's bedroom who likes to carry around a plushie all the time. And then you have the crying child who is in the, has memories of the crying child bedroom and also carries a plushie around all the time. So I feel like they're trying to make a connection with that. But I guess there's a chance it could just be coincidence. And at this point, I wouldn't put it past them anymore. They probably just lost track. It seems like, I don't know, there's something always been off about the crying child for me, because he's the protagonist of FNAF 4, but he has no relevance outside that game. Whereas like every other character has some form of relevance outside. Like there's no character that's just in a single game. Like every character has some relevance outside, like human character, I should say. Like Michael is in all the games basically, and William shows up in multiple games. Even Elizabeth shows up in Sister's Location in FNAF 6 as well. Like crying child.
I'm not sure on CC being a robot, despite being fine with a robot twist.
Like crying child's the only character who's like an important character, like a protagonist, part of the Afton family, who just has like nothing going for him. Like he doesn't have a name. You don't even know if he's an Afton. Technically, I just screwed up. All we know is he just gets bit.
I feel like most of the series depends on CC being like a spirit.
I mean, yeah. But most of the series really just depends on Michael feeling trauma and guilt for killing him. And that's what I feel like sends him on the whole thing in the first place.
At least in my interpretation on what William is trying to do.
You think he's trying to bring his children back and is killing other children to experiment on how to bring them back, potentially? That's what I used to think. I used to really dig that as a theory, if that's what you're trying to say. I don't believe it anymore, sadly. I wish it was the case, but I don't think it's what he's doing. People have really turned on the idea of William actually caring for his kids in like the past couple years, which is, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, like, I get it, but I don't know.
Yeah, if you want I can explain what I think points to that.
Yeah, definitely. Because I used to believe that, I want to believe that, I think it makes a lot of sense narratively that, I always thought Elizabeth died first, and I thought that's what spurred him to start killing, but that obviously would make sense, because, like, why would baby be a thing if he hasn't already thought about killing kids? So it could be crying child's death that, pushes him over the edge, and he, starts experimenting for that reason. And then along with Elizabeth, like, he just becomes more and more desperate. I like that idea, but I don't think he really cares that much. I've been convinced, I guess, by the will care deniers that it just doesn't really matter to him. But yeah, like for the order of the deaths, I always...
So first off, the nightmare
Chambers
feels
feels
William
like...
attempting to recreate the circumstances of CC's death.
I mean... I don't know. I always felt like FNAF 4 was his coma dream. You know, it's his coma dream, along with Michael's nightmares after FNAF 1. Which a lot of people hate the idea of it being both. Like, people really are only like, it has to be one or the other. It's either Michael's the protagonist or the crying child's the protagonist. But, like, it can be both, and I believe it's both. You know, I believe that it's the crying, like, especially the Fredbear night and the Nightmare night. Like, that's very obviously the crying child, like, his nightmares. Which is why, you know, you see the the pills and the IV. And then 1 through 5 is
nightmare animatronics to
Michael's.
try and make kids feel the same kind of fear CC felt.
See, I don't... I know the books talk about that. About, like, him kidnapping kids and, like, bringing them back and, like, doing that for a long time. But I don't know. I mean, it mainly just depicts him killing 5 kids, like, all at once. Like, nothing in the games points towards him, like, keeping them captive. If that makes sense.
The only thing I'm not sure about is the FNAF 4 neighborhood map being in the bunker or above ground.
Well, the way I see it, they're all in what, Hurricane, Utah, apparently. Probably not in the game universe, but whatever. I always saw it as, like, everything's within, like, a couple blocks from each other. So, like, the Afton house from the cutscene, or from whatever, the mini games, is, like, a couple blocks away from Fredbear's. And then, along with that, the, like, Murray's costume manor or whatever is also not too far from it, along with his house. And they're all, like, within a couple, like, you know, like a mile or so from each other. Which is how everything stays fairly connected through the games. Because I'm pretty sure Secret was trying to hint at really blatantly tell us that the house on the hill is really just Edwin's house, and that his bunker is the sister location bunker, and that's what we see in Ruin, that scoops the mimic in the one ending, that's just the sister location scooper, probably, or something similar to it. It's funny that, like, they're really pulling into sister location lately, like,
And yet,
ever
I
since
personally think only
this
Michael
game, really.
got put in the nightmare chambers, though I don't really have any proof it was only him.
I don't see why Michael. I mean, I feel like genuinely it's just Michael's nightmares after FNAF 1. Like, it was a scary experience for him, so he just has nightmares about it. Which is why Bonnie's on the left and Chica's on the right. But also, that's just, you know, real life wise, that's just because that was, like, the established formula, you know. But lore wise, if you could even pull a lore reason from that, it would just be because Michael played or went through FNAF 1. And that's why you hear the FNAF phone call as well, along with the purple phone and the fan, you know, is just because Michael went through that. But also, William, you know, now post Secret of the Mimic, it's different. I guess I'm unsure, like, how much.
Okay, yeah, though this doesn't really explain why Michael would dream about being in the experiment chambers.
Well, it's like a personalized version of FNAF 1. That's the way I see it. You know, it's like he's having a nightmare about FNAF 1, but it's just happening in his house. I don't know. I mean, really, I mean, it just doesn't make sense for the crying child to, like, that's obviously not his room, you know. So, like, it's obviously something that's in the bunker, or at least in that house on the hill, which is not where they actually live. And so if William hasn't started killing kids yet, which now I don't know anymore how early he started.
Okay, so you think his dreams looking like the experiment chambers isn't actually related?
I don't know. I don't like. I just don't like the books. I don't. You know, the books themselves are so contradictory from one another. It's like I don't know how much you can pull from that, and then I also don't know which series has which things. Like I'm more like knowledgeable about Fazbear Frights than like Tales from the Pizzaplex. So
I hate the books.
I don't know where the whole fear gas experiment stuff, which book series that comes from. But most things in Fazbear Frights is kind of irrelevant. Most, I say most, not all. A lot of it's good, but those books. So like, politics is the wrong word to use here, but like, because of real world circumstances, those books are like not relevant. Everything's so disconnected, like production wise. So like, Steel Wool obviously had their troubles with writing Security Breach because Scott just did a horrible job. Let's be honest. And so, just like how the Silver Eyes was meant to kind of like coincide with the Sister Location release, like the Fourth Closet and stuff. The Fazbear Frights was meant to coincide with Security Breach's release, and like the end of that book series was supposed to happen right as Security Breach was releasing, but then Security Breach got delayed, and then all the books came out, and then there was just like a half a year gap. And then Security Breach wound up not being what it was supposed to be. So like a lot of the lore stuff is just kind of like lost because it was all meant to hint towards a game we didn't get. Similarly, Tales from the Pizzaplex was used to hint at Ruin, which was the game, and Secret, which was were the games that we were meant to get, which is why Tales follows so closely with the games.
Idea due to what the chambers in there seem to be trying to do. Like, why would William create those nightmare chapter?
Hold on. I'm gonna have to read that because I did not hear that. Mainly got the experiment idea due to what Chambers and Seabear seem to be trying to do. Like, why would William create this sniper? Well, see, so that works with my theory, right, about the crying child being a robot. Is that he after Secret of the Mimic, right? Arnold fails. He doesn't retrieve the stuff, so doesn't matter because William just forecloses on the house and the manor anyways. The manor is the house in the hill in FNAF 4, right? The Mimic is there, so he basically just inherits the Mimic, the M1, whatever, the freaking robot. He has the robot, which, if you look at the Moon.exe ending, like, has the capability to be the size of a child and carries around a plushie and is in a room that looks like the FNAF 4 bedroom. William takes this robot, which is homicidal and scary, and runs not the experiments, but runs trials on it, to try to subdue it. Because I mean, how you train an AI in the first place is you just run it through trials repeatedly over and over and over again until it eventually learns the behavior it's supposed to be exhibiting. And like, if he has a homicidal robot, he's going to keep running it through these experiments to make it subdued, which works. It just kind of collapses, and like the crying child just collapses and has like panic attacks whenever anything happens. And you know, he also wants it to not to have some kind of fear of animatronics in particular. Uh, why? I don't know. You know, he loves the characters but hates the robots. Which, I don't know. FNAF 4 itself is also irrelevant. Like, a lot of the small details just because it was meant for something else. Like, that's the problem. When you have...
Okay, so you're saying it's to try and tame the mimic into a CC bot by using the nightmare chambers.
Yeah, I really only think it's one chamber. I mean, it's just the room. I guess the hallway for, like, the plush trap thing, but it's just the room. The issue with having a... Like, he's just really bad at keeping track of things. Like, realistically, that's what it is. Scott's just really bad at keeping track of things. Like, you can't keep retconning a story over and over again without there being holes, and that's exactly what is happening. And every time you make a change to what the initial intention was, like, everything that came before is just like obsolete, because it's like it was meant for something else. Like, FNAF 4 was meant to tell the story of Dream Theory for the first 4 games. Now we're like 3 different story directions later, so it's very disconnected. FNAF 1 through 3 was its own story. So even by FNAF 4, FNAF 1 through 3 was already like iffy. You know, and then he made 5 and took the story a different direction, and then 6 and it ended, and then with Help Wanted it went a different direction.
By chambers I mean the bedroom, and plush trap hallway, and maybe the FNAF 4 neighborhood depending if it's actually a part of the facility.
The entire I don't think the entire neighborhood. I think that's just their house, because it shows the actual house with like Michael and the bedrooms and stuff like that. So I doubt the whole neighborhood's that way. The reason I think there's a map of the neighborhood is because I think the tunnel goes from Sea Bear to Fredbear's. Like, I think that's one giant system, so I think that's why I chose the top of it. It's my best guess. But yeah, you know, we got to Security Breach, and then from Security Breach to Ruin, the story went a different direction. So, like, every time it just makes the game before it pointless. So it's almost like, why even bother putting story in the game if you're just going to change the story direction anyways? I don't know. I wish we could get a remake of FNAF 4. I think that would be very, very helpful. Like, and remake as in just like the lore, basically. Like, it can have the same gameplay and the same cuts, like same quality.
To Circus Baby's room, and there's a separate path from Fredbear's to CC's house.
Yeah, like, I think a remake of FNAF 4 would just be so perfect, and not, you know, it would clear so many things up. It doesn't even have to be that explicit, like, with what's going on. Like, it just has to have something, like, anything to link it back to, like, 5, 6, or, yeah, 5, 6, and then Help Wanted, Security Breach, Ruin, like, just that minimum, I think, would be enough. This is the other side of the thing, huh? Yeah. Which doesn't open anymore. So, like, I try my best not to worry about the old stuff, because it doesn't matter. But it also really does matter, because those events, like, if they're gonna make a game like Secret of the Mimic where it takes place in 1979 and you're...
But may I continue my explanation under the idea the experiment room in there is to recreate CC's incident?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I get the idea. It's... If the circumstances are recreated, then the soul would be transferred, hypothetically, the same way. Which is why I think he's killing people in the first place. Is he sees it with Fiona, he sees it with David. He doesn't kill David, but he sees it with David. And he sees it with the crying child, and he's like, "Oh, I should do this more." Which why kids, I don't know. And he definitely does use the.
HW2 it's shown that the bunker was made while CBPW was open.
My hair is ruined.
Circus. Well, the bunker was already there. But yes, they were open simultaneously. Yes. But the bunker was already there, because the bunker was an Edwin thing. Some of it, not all of it. Some of it was an Edwin thing. Anyways. Like, so like he kills Fiona, then, you know, David dies, he gets the Mimic, and the Mexis, because he gets access to all of Edwin's assets, right? So he finds some form of link between the idea of, like, these people died and then had new life as a robot. Why that intrigues him, I don't know. Because this is where it gets, like, weird. I'd like to think that the crying child saw Charlotte's death. And that's still...
to believe that William planned to kidnap kids using the fun times and put them in the chambers, but Elizabeth got grabbed and...
Oh, I have to read the rest of it out loud. Elizabeth got grabbed and died before any other kids could get grabbed. Yes, no, that is absolutely true. The fourth closet explained that. That whole thing was supposed to be an elaborate... I mean, he still does it. That's why he rents them out for Circus Baby's Pizza and Rental. He tries. I don't know how well it works, but he tries to get Remnant. That's kind of what AR Special Delivery was like. Seabear, like it was supposed to be the same thing, similar. But yeah, Elizabeth dies, and so Circus Baby's Pizza World closes on opening day for gas leaks. Yeah. Anyways, Charlotte dies at Freddy's. I feel like the movie confirmed that she didn't die at Fredbear's. But also, I don't think in the movie universe there even is a Fredbear's.
This incident is essentially key to why William specifically kills kids and stuffs them into suits.
See, I think he did that out of convenience. Right? He has this bloody mess on his hands. It's midday. He's like, I can't exactly throw these kids in the trash without people seeing. He sees animatronics, and he's like, oh yeah, sure. You know. I think that makes just out of convenience, right? I feel like that makes a lot more sense. And there's also room to, like, believe that the puppet's the one that stuffs him in the suits. Because the give gifts, give lives minigame, give life minigame, holy moly, shows that, like, the puppet's the one that puts the heads on them. You know, I don't know how canon that minigame is now, but at the time, it was a big deal to show that the puppet was the one who did that, but I don't know.
Because Elizabeth possessing Circus Baby is essentially a blueprint for what William does. And in the novels William says how Elizabeth's death. The accident.
How Elizabeth's death... How... Oh, it didn't show that one in chat. Okay, yes, I counter with... In the novels he only has one kid, and that's Elizabeth. In the games he has 3. And the crying child also dies, presumably first, actually, so You know, might not be Elizabeth's death that sent him over. Might have been Crying Child's. Crying Child's is the one where he vows to bring him back. You know, so there's that. I just think the stuffing in suits was out of sheer ease for him to hide the bodies in a quick manner. How nobody saw that, I don't know. I don't know why nobody was like
And
cleaning
the
those
movie
suits.
seemed to imply that the incident with circus babies possibly happened way earlier in the movie timeline as well.
I don't like that in the movie at all. Because the whole point of the movie was Vanessa was supposed to be the Elizabeth. So when you then have a possibility of Elizabeth, it's not good. It's not good. You know, a part of me just hopes it's a mistake, the green eyes thing. So I don't understand like why. Because they already gave Michael like the Elizabeth role. You know, Michael has the Elizabeth role of trying to like continue his father's legacy, and they kind of gave Vanessa the Michael role
I
of
think that's important
being the
because
other.
William is a killer by 1982. And the movie seems to imply Circus Baby was made before that.
Well, in the game universe, William's at least a killer by Fall Fest of 1970 or 74 or whatever. It shows how many years actually, if you pay attention to all the tapes in the because they're all each of David's birthdays. I think it's like 3 years or so. Yeah, whenever that Fall Fest was when he killed Fiona, that's when he was a killer. I wouldn't trust the movies for lore either. If it's not the game series, I really wouldn't. I would take it with grains of salt. Because the movies are doing things a different way.
Which means the Circus Baby incident could still be what inspires William to try killing and stuffing kids in the movieverse.
Sure. I don't care about the
I
movies.
agree. Movie lore isn't reliable.
I just don't think he cares that much in the games. I wish he did. I used to think he did, but I don't anymore. I just don't think he cares about his kids that much. I mean, he sends Michael to die. So yeah, he obviously doesn't like Michael. And he's like full on monitoring Crying Child's every move. And I'm pretty sure in the book series he's like abusive to Elizabeth. So I don't know how much he likes his kids that much. He gets his wife to leave him somehow. Probably not a good dude to begin with. He isn't. If we go off of, the Secret of the Mimic, he's not a good guy.
I'm just bringing it up to explain how the event with Circus Baby seems to be a weird universal constant between mediums.
Sure, yeah. I mean, a girl named Charlotte dying also is a constant between all of them, and her father being Henry, and Henry being William's partner. That's all very the same. I don't like how the movies have Mike Schmidt and Mike Athen be two different guys. That's upsetting. Whatever. It's fine, I guess. Yeah, really the only thing from the lore, or from the movie that I got for lore was, Charlie wasn't killed at Fredbear's, which I wish he was, but whatever, it's fine. It also screws up with the order, right? Charlie was killed at Freddy's.
For some reason, William doesn't have Michael or Cece in the novels.
Yeah, he doesn't. The novel is also flipped,
And
in my
no
opinion.
Cece in the movie.
Yeah, I doubt there's a Crying Child movie either. I think that's supposed to be Garrett. The novels are flipped, Henry and William's stories. It's kind of. Henry is the one who lives on the house on the hill, and he's the one who has a pizzeria under his house. I talked about this last time. that has, you know, waterfalls and a grotto and fluorescent vegetation, and then you flip that to, you know, Ruin, which shows, you know, a pizzeria under, presumably this was built on top of the house on the hill, you know, that area where Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place was, which we can only assume was Fredbear's Family Diner. It's all like one big thing. And then underneath, yeah, there's a pizzeria, and then caves and waterfalls and a grotto with fluorescent vegetation. Like, they're flipped. And then, you know, Henry's the one with robot daughter. I think William's the one with robot son, in The Crying Child. You know, I would like to believe that, at least. Charlotte lives into her adult years, which is weird, but whatever. Michael's definitely not a robot. I know that. Michael is not. Or else he wouldn't have decayed the way he did. So at least there's that. Where was I? Yeah, so the movie really only confirmed that, like, Charlie died at Freddy's, not at Fredbear's. And the circus baby thing made me upset. For me, that was more just to show that, like, it was something he was working on openly. Like it wasn't something he did post them dying.
William commented the MCI to set up something that had put CC together.
I don't know. I don't think he set it up. I think it was pretty spontaneous. Like, it seems spontaneous to me. The way I mean, like, I know it seems planned out, and maybe it was, but I feel like putting the kids in the suits was not like what he was trying to do. Like, that just seems weird. Like, it doesn't seem like a good idea at all. Like, that would be found out very quickly.
Because FNAF 3 and FNAF World shows how the MCI are somehow tied to CC.
FNAF World, once again, I'm pretty sure was also meant to show that FNAF 1 through 4 was a dream, so I wouldn't count FNAF World for anything. FNAF 3, similarly, I mean, I'm pretty sure the ending is also not even the ending anymore. I'm pretty sure the original ending was supposed to be the good ending, and then it was the bad ending, and now I'm pretty sure it's a combination of both. So I don't know. The first couple games are just, they're iffy. They're iffy for now. Like, for the now times, because it's just not relevant. And not that the ideas in there aren't relevant, but the lore they are trying to show is not relevant anymore. You know, Scott didn't plan 10 years of lore in advance, which is annoying.
I thought FNAF World essentially hinted that CC's pieces were somehow the MCI.
I thought FNAF World hinted that FNAF 4 was a dream, because it was all about the real world sinking into the other world, and the entire FNAF World map being like a map of the human brain and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I thought it was supposed to be that, and then similarly, FNAF World had the texture for the box being open, and presumably whatever was in the box was meant to portray that FNAF 4 was a dream. You know, so I'm pretty sure that's what FNAF World was about, was putting that together. Because at that point the MCI wasn't even real. It was just made up by the Crying Child because of the spooky stories he was told by other kids. Anyways, speaking of the MCI.
I don't it was hinting that FNAF 4 was a dream. I think it was meant to clarify how CC was related to the other games.
Well, see, Crying Child was related to the other games in that they were all a figment of his imagination. Anyways, the MCI. It says 5 kids presumed missing, not dead, right? The way I see it, he kills 4. He stuffs them in, you know, I can't call it Spring Freddy. original Freddy. Well, but then when you say originals, it sounds like the FNAF 1 animatronics. The Unwithereds. He stuffs him in the Unwithereds. And then the fifth kid he kills is Charlotte. And I know Henry says a wound first inflicted on me. But that also might mean because Charlotte was the first one to come back, right? If the FNAF 2 minigame is anything to go off of, Charlie is the first one to receive consciousness, and then she gives the other kids consciousness. But then, like, Golden Freddy is in that FNAF 2 minigame, and that kind of screws with my whole theory. But then also, it's like it's a minigame from FNAF 2, and you know, FNAF 2's relevance, who knows anymore.
Fair. I do think Charlie was important for this.
The movie definitely showed she wasn't killed at Fredbear's, but also it had FNAF 2 location being the original location, which, you know, sucks. That just sucks, and obviously isn't true, because FNAF 2 location was grand opening in 1987, and the MCI. The only evidence for the MCI even happening in 1985 is Into the Pit, which I don't even know how trustworthy that is. But considering they remade Into the Pit like twice, so there's 3 versions of it out there, I would assume it's pretty solid. So I'm liking 85 for the MCI. The Help Wanted tombstones are trying to hint that Charlie died last, and it would make sense for Charlie to have died last, for all the kids to already be dead, and then for her to come and give them life. And I don't know why she would have gotten life and none of the other kids would. If the only thing that's linking possession is just a violent death, which seems to be what it is. That's like...
So I think William set up the MCI to set up something to put CC back together, and I think Charlie most likely did something to tie CC with.
With the MCI.
Help them.
I thought it was save them. I don't know. I just don't think William's doing that much to bring his kids back. I think it's for more personal reasons. I just think he wants to live forever. Which is 99% of villains across media. That's their goal, is immortal life of some degree. You know, I don't think it was noble. I wish it was, because that would be a genuine, compelling, you know, motivation for him, but I don't think that's the case anymore. Especially if he was willing to kill Fiona over something so pointless. You know?
GGGL is also help them.
And then killing, you know, Charlie was just a pure, like, I don't like Henry, so I'm going to do this type of thing. You know, so it's not like he didn't enjoy what he was doing. I guess he's still a serial killer who enjoys killing, and you know, if Dead by Daylight is anything to go off of, which it's not, but they did get what's his name, PJ Haywood, to voice him. Like, he enjoys it. Like he's a crazy guy. He's not a very, you know,
I think Charlie was just
noble
killing.
Noble guy. Like in Dead by Daylight, he very much enjoys what he's doing. He very much does it in an almost joking way. Like he gives out one-liners. Like, this is someone who's literally just taking joy in what he's doing. you know, this is someone who does not care about human life and just sees it as is a thing to mess around with. And like I said, I don't know how much Dead by Daylight is to go off of, but it's
Though yeah,
I
most
find all the
of
lines.
FNAF 2 lore is very messy to be frank, lol.
I find all of the like Dead by Daylight lines to be insightful to his personality, even if their canonicity is shaky at best. I still think it's official voice lines. I doubt they would just make voice lines that Scott didn't approve of. So I definitely find that to be helpful because we don't get a lot from William. It's surprising how little we get of the main characters. Like all we have from Michael is his speech at Sister Location. Sister Location is the only game that is confirmed to be Michael. Like, so it's such. I don't know. There's like a difference between like making your game as serious and then just making it hard for the sake of like hard. Like the lore at this point it's just there's no reason to have your main protagonist only be confirmed to actually be the main protagonist in one game.
I think FNAF 3 is the most important.
Well, FNAF 3 has like 4 different meanings to me. Or 3, I guess. Perchancedly 3 different meanings. Now, FNAF 3 means Jack Diddley squat because Happiest Day didn't happen and Springtrap lived, and so did Michael.
First off, why do you think William specifically wanted the MCI's remnant?
He wanted any remnant. That was the whole point of Seabear, was to just collect as much as he could. That was just what was available. I'm just not following. Well, I am following this theory. I'm just not. I just don't get why he would be so hard pressed on this. Like I like the idea of William starting out with good intentions, but I not after Secret of the Mimic. Like for sure, like he kills Fiona for no reason. Like that, there's he wasn't a good guy to begin with. He was willing to take over Edwin's land that was like passed from generation to generation. Like he's not a good guy. I don't really think he cares about his family that much. He obviously wasn't very good at it if his wife left him. And I mean, maybe you could argue.
Personally, I think William wouldn't need the MCI's remnant if he has Bear.
Well, he's injecting the MCI's remnant into the fun times to begin with.
I think it's needlessly dangerous for him to do it himself.
It wasn't dangerous for him because he had the whole go into the back room and then jump scare them and kill them or take them apart thing. Like, he knew what he was doing. I just don't think William cares about his kids. I don't know what else to say. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I wish it was the case. I really do.
Fair.
I really do wish it was the case, but I just don't see it. Anyways, the MCI says 5 kids die. And we know that just isn't true. If you're counting Charlie, that'd be 6 if we're also counting Cassidy, but I don't know. Screw that. I also am... Why is it Roxy? What the heck? I'm also unsure if the FNAF 2 thing even says why it closes. Like, I'm pretty sure the bite of 87 is what closes the restaurant.
I think the reason why he specifically wanted the MCI's remnant, and specifically inject them into the fun times, is because he was about
To finish putting trying shot. I just don't think he was. I think the put you back together is literal, and it's a robot that he's literally going to put back together. And he doesn't. He never gets around to do it. He tries, but he just never gets it.
MCI are connected to CC somehow.
I don't think they are. I sadly do not think the crying child is important. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, don't. Why? Why? No, I'm looking at you. I am looking at you through the glass. No. Screw you guys. You guys suck, okay? Sorry I ever came in here. They're gonna come through the freaking door. I don't think the Crying Child or FNAF 4 is relevant. I mean, Secret of the Mimic, I feel like made that clear that it's like, FNAF 4, anything... Any weird inconsistencies, let's just throw... It's such a cop-out, Mimic and Edwin and all that, but whatever. It's fine, I guess. Not really, but it's fine. It is serviceable. I hate it, but it's serviceable.
Why he would ask Michael to put Elizabeth back together before going back to the FNAF 1 location for the 5th T.
That's because he didn't? He didn't. That's because he didn't. This was in my timeline thing last stream. He kills 5 kids, MCI, successful. Well, he gets arrested, but it's fine. Yeah, he gets arrested, but it's all good because, no bodies, no murder. It's just missing kids who were last seen with him. Oh well. Then, place shuts down when they were actually confirmed to be killed. Because they, the blood and stuff. And then I assume Charlie's death was mainly what had to do with it. Charlie's being like the only confirmed one, and then later them learning like, oh, there's kids in here. Closes down. 2 years later, 1987, FNAF 2 goes to open up. At this point, Crying Child, Elizabeth, both dead. Michael is already, struggling with his own stuff. Feels terrible for killing Crying Child. Maybe, probably. William needs time to kill kids. So he's like, Michael, do some busy work while I kill these kids in FNAF 2. Michael does sister location around the same time FNAF 2 is opening up. Which is why he's not the night guard for nights 1 through 6. He was too busy getting scooped and dealing with being dead while FNAF's nights 1 through 6 were happening, and then Jeremy dies, or he doesn't die. Jeremy gets hospitalized. Michael's too late to save the kids. He gets there just right after he does night 7, gets fired. While that's happening, or after FNAF 2, I guess, William is doing his stuff. And, after the DCI, if you want to, sure, we'll say it exists for the sake of this. William goes back one last time. Probably to get his spring Bonnie suit. if I had to guess. Because he's already got all the animatronics down, so he has no need to be there again. The souls confront him. He gets spring trapped in like
Frankly, I don't think
1988.
Michael really cares about the MCI, but fair enough.
I think Michael's whole deal is to try to stop anything Williams. Well, I don't know, because his location makes it like sketchy. It could just be a voice actor thing, or maybe Scott specifically said, "Look, I don't want you to sound angry at while doing this," because it's like the most like it doesn't sound like a threat. The entire thing does not he does not sound angry at all. He doesn't even sound sad. Michael, and that's what's so that's the argument people make for Michael not being the protagonist. And it's the argument people make for Michael not being necessarily the good guy of the story. And it's the argument people make for trying to tie Michael Apton from the FNAF 2 movie to the games. Michael is he doesn't sound mad in Sister Location, and this would be after he's learned that his father's killing kids.
Michael sounds angry at William. He just sounds bemused in
He's
cell monologue.
he's kind of joking. I mean, he's not joking, but he's then the craziest thing happened. They thought it was you, and then they killed me, but I'm still alive. He doesn't sound mad at all. And he still feels the need to be yeah, I did what you asked me to. I put her back together, and he seems like good with that. That he did what he was told to do. And so yeah, it doesn't make. And then when he says, "I'm going to come find you," that's not an angry, "I'm going to come find you." That's I'm going to come find you so I can get my new assignment type thing. Which flies in the face of the idea that Michael is a protagonist and he's going through burning location after location after location trying to stop his father. So yeah, that's an issue. But then also a lot of people argue that the FNAF 6 guy is definitely 100% Michael Apton. And if that's true, then Michael burns down the pizza plaque or the pizzeria. So it's I don't know. Gotta take this hoodie off. It is way too hot. And that Elizabeth is in Circus Baby. Maybe. Hold on. I got it. Okay, there we go. I forgot I was supposed to be. Where'd it go? Oh, I think that was the noise that happened earlier. What? No! It was a noise that happened earlier. Oh yeah, kazoo. Anyways. Yeah, the Sister Location rant, or not rant, monologue is upsetting for me. It flies in the face of everything that the FNAF story is, should be.
Because Michael mentions how the MCI didn't recognize him at first, which means he knows they met before.
Oh man, why are you doing this to me? Okay. Let me take a second here. Okay. When he says that they didn't recognize me at first, I think he's more so referring to Elizabeth. I think when he first goes down there, Elizabeth, the AI that's running, because an important thing to remember in Sister Location is that the animatronics who want to get out, it's not Elizabeth's soul. Like that. It's kind of a key plot point, actually, is that it's the AI, and it's cloning Elizabeth's voice, and it's not. There's a back and forth that happens between it really being Elizabeth and it just being the AI, and the AI is eventually what Ennard is, and that's eventually what gets out.
He mentions how they were all there. They didn't recognize me at first.
Okay. Okay. Here. Okay. There is a very, I mean, very slim chance that the MCI were the kids that were with Michael when Michael killed the crying child. In which case he would know them beforehand. And this, like Michael might have just been friends with the actual kids. They might not have been kids. They might have been teens. I don't know. And the evidence for that Michael was friends with the actual kids, is in this game, Security Breach. A lot of people think, come here, Freddy, come on. A lot of people think this guy is Michael Afton. And this guy says that his friends are down in the burn trap area. And he's presumably referring to the Blob, who has the MCI kids' stuff in him. I'll just say stuff. I'm not sure if it's remnant souls or agony, whatever. But he says his friends are down there. He says his friends are down there, which, you know, if it is Michael and Freddy saying that his friends are down there, then, you know, that maybe he knew them when they were actually kids, and that might be another reason for why he's so desperate to free them, is because he genuinely knew who they were as kids. And so he, you know, that maybe that's another reason, or the way how William got him to go down there in the first place, was like, your sister and your friends are down there. Maybe. You know, William's good at luring people into things. It's kind of his whole thing. And I mean, it's not like they go any easier on him after they know he's Michael, either. Like, they still scoop him and stuff. It's just...
So that's how you're gonna explain it. Fair enough, that could work.
What's how I'm gonna explain it? I mean, I don't think Michael's in Freddy. I'm just saying that's what some people think. I personally think Freddy is just Freddy. He's just Freddy, and he glitched out, and that's why he's not attacking, because he's just not a part of the mainframe. I don't think he has a soul in him. I think he's just a guy. I think there is, similar to how I think Vanessa is Elizabeth and how Gregory is the crying child, I do think there is some parallel for Michael to Freddy. But I don't think it's a genuine one-to-one connection. I think Michael's alive. Personally, I think he survived FNAF 6. And I think that explains his dislocation room. And I think that explains why Gregory, patient 46, changed all of his behaviors, right? He was initially meant to help Vanessa and William, or the Mimic, or whatever you want to call it, and then wound up turning on him. So, but then even, like...
referring to how Michael says how the MCI didn't recognize him. Your explanation is about how the MCI could have known Michael and Lee.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, he's William's son. He's probably been down there a bunch of times before. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how this idea that William really just is obsessed with recreating the circumstances of the crying child's death, and the MCI being special specifically affects like the rest of like what plays out in like the rest of the games, because they're kind of just it's just dragged on. It doesn't seem like the individual kids don't have much relevance.
Then I think Michael would have had to have known what William was up to then.
And that's my issue. That's my issue with all of this. Is if Michael is the hero people make him out to be, why is he so okay with all this stuff? And then maybe John Andrews was right, and maybe Henry is the protagonist of FNAF 1 and FNAF 3. Maybe. Heck, maybe Edwin's the protagonist of FNAF 6. I don't know. It's definitely weird. Maybe the crying child's alive. Maybe the crying child's the protagonist of freaking FNAF 1. I don't know. Michael, everyone wants it to be Michael. And I'm pretty sure it was... Oh, wait, no, he doesn't have a freaking page in the character encyclopedia, huh? I think that was intentional. Yeah, never mind. I don't know. All I know is that Michael's probably alive.
Really a hero until FNAF 3 and 6 in my opinion. But even then it feels like he just wants everything to end.
The issue with that though is like why? What made him choose
Very weird character-wise jokes.
character-wise?
Honestly, asterisk.
Oh. I love FNAF 3 as a concept. Like I said, as a game, it's the worst thing to ever be created. I hate that game so much, but concept is cool. I just... Here's the other thing, right? If Michael is not upset with William, and if William, you know, wants to reconvene with Michael, why is he attacking him? Why is he attacking him in FNAF 3? Like, he said, I'm going to come find you. He does. So then, like, why are they instantly hostile towards one another when Michael didn't show any real hostile behavior or intentions towards William in the first place? Similarly, I know people trash on Scraptrap all the time, but, like, if you showed me a picture of Springtrap and then showed me a picture of Scraptrap, like, I'm gonna know this is the same guy. You know, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's the same guy. So for him to be like, you may not have recognized, or he says the same thing. You may not recognize me at first, but I assure you, it's still me. If he's saying that to Michael, and Michael's already seen him in his Springtrap form, it's like, I doubt Michael's gonna be like, huh, it's another dead guy in a rabbit suit. Can't be my father. Like, no, he's gonna know. So the fact that he even bothers to say that is like weird. It's weird to me. Why would you even bother to, you know, make that distinction of like, oh, you probably don't recognize me, but it's still me. But like, Michael's already seen you in Springtrap. He already knows you're stuck in a rabbit suit and you're still in a green rabbit suit. Like, there's not that many dead guys in green rabbit suits. Like, you know, so that voice line is weird for me. Also, Henry calls the FNAF...
Weird. Like, I don't understand why William would attack Michael.
Similarly, in FNAF 6. And this really doesn't make sense, because it's very contradictory one sentence after the other.
Honestly,
Henry's saying...
extend that to Scraptrap Baby in FFPS.
You know, Henry says, well, Baby wants to hurt Michael because she wants to help William. You know, Henry says, my brave volunteer who found this job listing not intended for you. Not intended for you. So, like, apparently, somebody else was supposed to get this advertisement for FNAF 6. because he said it was not intended for you. But then he also says, I think you're exactly where you want to be. So, so it's like, so you know whoever this is has ties to this. And you know that they want to die. Right? So Michael, or we're probably talking about Michael here. But then also you say it's not, the thing wasn't intended for them. So like, the job listing was meant for somebody else. So it's like, who is that someone else? That's something that's bugged me forever. You know, since that whole speech happened, is like, then who was it for? If it wasn't meant for Michael, then who was it for? And it's just never properly, like, that's never touched on again. Which is very annoying. You know, I don't get that. It's just, you know, vaguely mentioned and then that's it. Roxy, dude, go away. So I don't know, and then he doesn't die. I'm pretty sure Michael's still alive.
Like Scrap-the-Bee would have thought that Michael was in on the plan there. Like her brother coincidentally being the Night Lord.
But I feel like you'd have to assume that or that William and Elizabeth are communicating by FNAF 6, and you know, William knows Michael's not a good guy in his opinion. You know, so I'm sure he probably would have told Elizabeth, like, yeah, this guy ain't good, you know, and to hurt him. Which once again goes to show that William does not care about his kids. Then, you know, I doubt he did the MCI to try to genuinely bring back whichever one of his children he was trying to bring back. Who even is to say that the crying child dies before the MCI? I don't know. Maybe the MCI doesn't have 1985. But she does. She has to. Because she said she's I don't know. Why wouldn't they talk? I guess. Why wouldn't they talk? Is Scrap Baby the first? Now I have to think about the order. Now I gotta look this up. FNAF 6 Order of Animatronics.
Believes that FFPS was planned by William, and fully believes the call Henry made.
4 main animatronics, so I understand that. Which one's which? So it's Molten Freddy, then Baby, then Scrap Trap, then Lefty?
She also thinks William is Michael's employee.
Wait, is it a random order? I wanna... What? Now I gotta keep looking at the chat. She also thinks William is Michael's employee? Well, Michael's...
William is running FFPS.
Yeah, I know. She thinks Henry's... I guess you're right with that. Why? I feel like the order is important here. The order of animatronics salvageable is important here. FNAF order of animatronic salvage. Molten Freddy's first? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I guess that makes sense. Sure. I guess that makes sense. Because Elizabeth thinks her job is to bring people to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. And she thinks she did her job. So I guess the only person she brought was Charlotte in Lefty. But then again, Henry made Lefty to capture Charlotte. So, I don't know. But Elizabeth thinks she did her job. Because she says, like, I brought them all together. Are you proud or whatever?
And Scrapbaby's final monologue is complete bogus. What she says only makes sense if she thinks
No,
the
yes,
FNAF
yes.
is run by William and Ever.
I know. I said yes already. I said I agree. I said you're right. How much more do I have to say? I know. The issue is the others, right? So like William knows what it's a setup, right? What a deceptive calling, blah blah blah. It's obviously a lie, but intriguing nonetheless. You know, William also goes to show very intelligent for a dead man. You know, he's lost zero you know, reasoning capabilities in his why do these keep closing? In his you know, transformation, which is kind of funny because that goes against FNAF 3. You know, FNAF 3 shows him as pretty like unintelligent. Like I mean he falls for the stupid kids thing, the audio. Now granted, it might not be him trying to follow the noise of kids' sounds, but the animatronic suit being programmed to follow the sound of kids' noises, but that doesn't make sense at all. Because if you're making a robot in a pizzeria where kids are everywhere, I feel like the animatronic would spaz out trying to go to every single noise. So FNAF 3 makes him seem fairly unintelligent, but then by FNAF 6 he's freaking genius. So like I wonder what Henry said was going to be there that made him want to be there. Right? Like Elizabeth was promised her father. That makes sense. Like what was Afton promised? What were the MCI promised? Right? Like what was Charlie promised? What was Lefty promised? Like they were all promised something. So it's like I don't know what deal would have been made. I don't know about that one.
Good question.
And then he dies. Well, he doesn't die, but he dies. I don't know. I like to think Burn Trap isn't the Mimic just because they established that the Mimic is locked further down. They make it a point to show like the Mimic is sealed away further down. So it's impossible for the Mimic to be Burn Trap. If Burn Trap exists, the ending seems to have been written out. But then the area is still there, you know? The blob is in ruin, I think. So the blob is still there. So, if Burn Trap exists, I think it's still William. And he survived FNAF 6. Which makes sense. Because it seems like all the main characters survived the FNAF 6 fire, right? Elizabeth still alive. Or, well, you know, alive as in soul is still there. Charlie, her soul's still there. Michael is, you know, Michael, I like to think he's alive. I think all the hideouts aren't for Gregory as much, but that some of them are for Michael. And he is as well just living in the Pizzaplex. And I think he's the one who reprogrammed Gregory to want to hurt the animatronics instead of help Vanessa, or Vanny. That's only if Gregory is patient 46, and if he's not, then I don't know. If he's not, then screw Steel Wool and writing. Because that's just, I don't know, bad storytelling. I wonder who would have been sent. Would it have been Chica? Is Chica up? It is Chica. Hi, Chica. Hello, Chica.
And setting up the clues to the MCI to get CCF.
Okay, screw you, Chica. I hate you. I wanted to flash you. But okay, but like, where does that go? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that explain the DCI? How does that explain, you know, his intentions for FNAF 6? Why he has the Mimic, like, in the first place? Why he kills Fiona? Like, I feel like there's a lot of, like, that theory would be well and good if we only had like the first 5 games to go off of. But I feel like with all the books and the games and the movies, it's very well established he's just killing kids for the heck of it. There's not any kind of noble dealings here. And I wonder what Henry promised him in FNAF 6.
This is before I factor in the
Yeah, so then it's like, what does it matter? That's my issue with that's my issue with the whole thing. Is that with each game, it seems like they're making more and more details irrelevant. So it's like, why even add the details in the first place if the next game's just going to overwrite it? And it's a shame that that's how it works. It's a shame. Hi, Chica. Can I flash you again? Screw you, Chica.
fair.
And that's why I hate, you go on Reddit, if you do, or you go to really any FNAF theorist that's not one of the big ones, and you see them talking about such small, minute details, and doing these grand theories, paragraphs upon paragraphs, evidence upon evidence cited, for the most pointless of things. And it's like, does this really matter? You did all of this work, but really what did you accomplish? And it's not trying to demean or be condescending on what they accomplished and what they found. But it's like, what does this really do for the main story? When I make my theories, I feel like
I think it's hard to really tell how the mimic factors into the original games.
Steel Wool doesn't know either, But I feel like, and I'm guilty of doing this as well, but recently, since I've kind of started feeling this way about theories, for the most part, I don't care about the detail, the small things anymore, and I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way when I see people make these grand theories about small details, because it's it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. What's the saying? Make sure your own home is in order first before you start judging others, make sure you even know what's going on in the story before you try to figure out the small stuff. In your, process of writing this theory for a very small detail, you've made, 15 infractions on the main story. That's the way I see it. When most people do it. I'm not saying all people do that, but a lot of people will just gloss over these huge things or huge holes in the story to prove the point of the small detail. And it's it doesn't matter. Who cares, the exact date that whatever event happened? Who cares the day and month it happened? That's not important. What's important is figuring out if this even happened anymore, or just the order in which these things happen. Or, some people, how David died. That was an argument on last stream. How David died. In the end, it doesn't matter. In the end, all that matters is he died, right? That's really the only thing that
Why the
matters.
animatronics try to stuff the security guards into suits? Because if not, there really isn't any way to really. The fun times.
To really, there isn't, because if not, there doesn't really imply the mimic code was around us. Okay, well, no, there very much is reason for the mimic. I went over this. I would say just watch any of my Secret of the Mimic theories, but the mimic. Okay. I hate the mimic as being a blanket statement, right? So there's the mimic, mimic.exe, and then there is the M1, which is the robot. The mimic code, the Mexis, Fiona. I guess Mexis Cradle. I don't know. The Mexis. Is in Secret of the Mimic takes over the voice of Dispatch, right? And the guy
Apologies XD.
who voices Dispatch is also the same voice actor for Hand Unit, who is also the same voice actor for the intercom in this game, and the same voice actor for the commentator, or not commentator, narrator of FNAF 6. I think, pretty sure it's all the same guy. The voice of Freddy Fazbear's. And Dispatch is the same guy, right? Same voice actor. However, in the game Secret of the Mimic, Dispatch doesn't sound quite like Hand Unit. It's very obviously a different voice. It sounds the same because it's the same guy. Obviously, you can't really change your voice, but it's different and speaks in different speech patterns. But then after the Mimic starts mimicking Dispatch, it sounds identical to Hand Unit, with the same speech patterns and inflections of voice, which I'm pretty sure. And then couple that with the sister location bunker and the FNAF 4 house and all that it shows in Secret of the Mimic. It's trying to show how the Mimic fits in, which is that Hand Unit and Security Breach intercom voice and FNAF 6 voice and all of that runs on the Mimic program. And that is how William Apton, who wasn't an animatronic guy but was a business guy, was able to make the fun times and have them be so
Yes, I totally agree.
advanced. And I talked about this a while back, like when Ruin came out, because this was before Edwin was a character in the games, and I was trying to reason why William might have made the Mimic. And my kind of thoughts on that were like, in Ruin, the Mimic's head looks a lot like a Bidybab head, very similar structure. The endoskeleton itself, I thought, could have been Baby's endoskeleton, but that I don't know. I mean, it's still up for debate considering it rebuilt itself. But also, the Fun Times possess a lot of the same attributes that the Mimic has. Being able to do voice modulation, being able to. They don't fit into different sizes like the Mimic does. But I'd argue you have stuff like the scooper and stomach hatches and stuff where it shows that like they're flexible. If that makes sense, like the Mimic was flexible, so they're flexible. They also have
A lot of people seem to gloss over the retroactive implications of how Bear is heavily connected to the Mimic.
I actually haven't seen a lot of people glossing over that. I'm seeing that been a huge thing since Secret came out. They also have like procedural analysis, like the Mimic, right? They can, analyze and then respond accordingly, right? And it wasn't like William was some mastermind robotics engineer. He just stole Edwin's code and put chips in them, So that's like most likely where the Mimic is all this time. It's technically a property of Fazbear Entertainment. The actual robot itself is stuck in sister location, but the program isn't.
I just
Oh, Roxy, you're very close. You're coming after me. Oh no. So, when I see it, the Mimic actually, Secret really like helped. I think Secret of the Mimic was written very well. Gameplay wise, up in the air. But story wise, I thought, the story direction could have been better, but with the direction they went in, they did it flawlessly. And I came out of it was one of the only times I've ever come out of a FNAF experience with more answers than questions. After playing that game, I came out and I was like, wow, that cleared up a lot, which I don't think I've ever been able to say. So that was good. of them, and they integrated the Mimic into the early story in a good way, I think. There's definitely a lot of problematic things, of course, you know.
I guess I've been unlucky then. I haven't seen anyone use N1 mimicking dispatch as a link to hand in it. And how the HW games have a
Weird focus on circus people with the plush. Well, I mean, hey, look, if you had been paying attention to me for the past 3 years, you would have heard it all. However, if you had also paid attention to John Andrews' FNAF, that's why I did the stream when I did it, the first one, explaining the entire lore in one stream, which was a nightmare, by the way. That was like 4 hours of grinding that. The reason I did that was because of his theory about sister location and hand unit and all dispatch and all that. That was basically a rehash of what I had said 6 months ago, and I was angry, so I was like, I'm going to do it again. Yeah. No, I've been harping on the connections between Security Breach, Ruin, this new era, and sister location forever. Ever since the first trailer. I mean, well, I wasn't making theories back then, but
Sorry, but I gotta go. Thanks for the chat, Chief. This was nice.
okay, bye. Anyways, ever since Security Breach trailer came out, there was a very obvious connection to sister location. With just the animatronics designs in general, them being more plasticky and having I guess they don't have a faceplate design like how they do in what's it called? Just location, but just the plasticky, more like human-ish proportion designs. You know, like they weren't super round, like they were more human-like, looking. And then obviously Freddy had his stomach hatch, just like Funtime Freddy, very obvious ties to sister location. You have Help Wanted that, well, Help Wanted is concerning because it shows that Fazbear Entertainment knew that William was stuck inside Springtrap, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Also, I want to throw out that I think the toys are also related to the Mimic somehow, and I think it's interesting that the Glam Rocks
have the plushies of their retrospective toy counterpart hidden in the rooms. I don't know. I mean, probably. I would assume the AI, the facial recognition crime scanner stuff that they run on is probably the Mimic program as well. As far as I'm concerned, the toys aren't possessed in FNAF 2. It's literally just their facial recognition thing being bad. So yeah, for sure. Where was I? Baby so yeah, just Fazbear Entertainment acknowledging that Springtrap was in fact William Spring-Locked and just kind of gloss over that. Yeah, but Fazbear Entertainment, I mean, Afton Robotics presumably, considering he owned both, was probably also owned by Fazbear Entertainment, I would imagine. I would imagine Circus Baby's Pizza World was marketed as a Fazbear product, and the financing came probably from Fazbear Entertainment. Oh, no thank you.
Yeah, along with the theory that the FNAF 2 location was previously Fredbear's, and Bear being shown to be connected to Fredbear's.
I don't like that. I don't like
For real now.
I don't like FNAF 2 being Fredbear's. That's upsetting to me. Although the movie says FNAF 2 is the original location, so that would be very FNAF fashioned. I just don't see it because it's called New and Improved. So I don't know, and the location is pretty big, and Fredbear's is shown as pretty small. Anyways, then that's all in Help Wanted. Then in Security Breach, huge ties to sister location. well, I say huge. I'm talking about the plush baby room, which, once again, why, at this point we're 50 years later from, circus babies being relevant. Like, yet still there's a plush baby room with nothing but plush baby. Which, by the way, is a different character than Circus Baby, which I find weird. They're like her minions. And then, in Help Wanted, well, in Ruin, I should say, there's the plush baby room where they disappear, right? And there's, what is she doing here? And I forgot what the golden one said. I thought the golden one said something else, or said discontinued. So like there's very obviously a strong like emphasis on baby. And then in Help Wanted 2, you have posters. You have the Circus Baby poster, and it's not in the AR world, it's in the real world. I think it's in both, actually, which is even crazier. And then you have a huge, and I know it's emphasis on sister location just because, they already did FNAF 1 through 4. But it's a huge emphasis on sister location. Like, you have the Office Nights, which shouldn't even be, they're not even canon. Like, the sister location office isn't even canon. So why that's even in there, who knows? You have the hide and seek with baby, which was really strange, and then that she just gives you ice cream at the end. Kind of, in my opinion, showed that like Elizabeth is like not as evil as everyone has her out to be, and also like it's just a hand. Like the scooper is just a hand. It's nothing too scary. It's not the giant claw that people made it out to be, or well, that the games made it out to be. Then you have the elevator, obviously the sister location elevator. You have the Bonkabon thing. There's a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff relating to sister location, but just like broadly, like broad strokes. Like, look, sister location. Like, it wasn't anything in particular. You have the sister location room in this game. Michael's room. You have like, and then in Secret, there's not a lot besides, like I said, the hand unit dispatch thing, which I guess is pretty big if you think about it. But like, there's definitely a lot. There's definitely a lot of sister location parallels here and nods. And when like in a more meta sense, or I guess in a more like real world sense, I think it's really just doing that because it's trying to show that like sister location told this story already. About a rogue AI that wants to escape and uses a person to do that. It's literally just it's if FNAF has been anything, it's been about things repeating themselves and history repeating itself. That's been a big part of it. Security Breach kind of touches on that with that one bag where it's like, why is this happening again? Which I always found weird, by the way. Like, kids are... Is she actually coming? Like, kids are dying here. Where is it? Missing? No. Pretty sure it's called It's Happening Again. Yeah. Why did you reopen? Everyone remembers what happened to those kids. So, like, apparently it's still going on. I don't even remember where I was going with that, I'm gonna be honest. Sister location, elevator. Oh, right. People keep dying repeatedly in Freddy's locations that all seem to be within a couple miles or singular mile from each other, right? It's no longer about individual things that are possessed and individual characters. It's the idea that so much has happened on this one plot of land that the whole thing is haunted, right? And the same thing just happens over and over again. They open up, some form of William gets somebody to kill kids. They kill them, they get the remnant, they close, they open up a new one, repeat, right? It happens over and over. Themes repeat themselves, you know. And so, like, the story of the Mimic is just the story of Ennard, you know, like almost like point for point, you know, story beat for story beat. Like, you have somebody who goes to a location to save their friend or sister. They are tricked by a robot using that person they are looking for's voice to then free them, and then they try to use that person to escape, right? For sister location, it is Elizabeth and the Mimic 1 virus using Elizabeth's voice to then goad is the wrong word, lure Michael into the scooping room, you know, for Ennard to escape. And then you have Cassie going to save Gregory, and the Mimic using Gregory's voice to help it escape, right? And it's like doing the same thing. So, like, when it was for sister location, it was just the program, the virus, the AI. But then in Ruin, it was the actual robot. And it's just the same thing that happens again. Just in a slightly different way. It's literally a reboot. I don't know. I feel like that's what, you know, this is all screaming towards, is like that. It's just a reboot of the lore. Just with new characters to make it refreshing. And that's the more, you know, real world, like, meta take on that than, you know, lore reasons. Because, I mean, there's really only so many places you can take this franchise before it just stops feeling like FNAF. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of people do forget that about Sister, and I think that's why it's so focused on Sister Location. To try and show, like, this isn't a new concept. Like, I feel like a lot of people look at the Mimic and they're like, this is stupid, like, what happened to kids being possessed? But, like, Sister Location did it first, like, and I think that's really what it's about. It's just to show, like, look, what's happening what happened here is happening now. You know, that's really what the parallels are about, and to show, like, not only is this a similar thing, but it's actually the same thing, and, like, you know, this is why, you know, X, Y, and Z happened in security breaches, because, like, it's a repeat of what happened in Sister Location. For the end game interpretation, obviously, like, Elizabeth, it looked like they were trying to set her up for as a villain, and I mean, it's hard to tell, you know, because truly all we have to go off of is, you know, like, or like, when it comes to main, like, games that take place over a span of time, is Security Breach, Ruin, and Secret, right? Help Wanted 1, Help Wanted 2, those are, like, pocketed events that are happening at a very specific point, like, all at once, you know? So they're not really relevant to, like, the bigger picture. Those are filling in details. When it comes to the new lore, all we have is Security Breach, Ruin, and Secret. And Secret doesn't do much because it's a prequel. So, like, all we have of new content is Security Breach and Ruin. Security Breach also not being the game it was supposed to be. So really all we have is Ruin to go off of. We have a DLC to go off of, you know? And that well, for one, it's just not good. But two, really couldn't introduce us to everything that they're trying to get across in the new lore. Right, so like, for, people might be like, well, Elizabeth hasn't explicitly been, like, stated to be here, so she's not, but it's also like, we've had one reliable entry into this series, like, so far, like, give it time, like, that's just the problem with the games being so big now, that it takes a long time, like, that was part of the allure of, like, the early games was, like, they were easy for Scott to make, so they were coming out very quickly, and so you had questions, they got answered, or at least the tools to answer them were given out, like, very soon. Where now you're waiting, like, 3 years in between games, like, you go from Help Wanted in, whatever, 2018, 2019, to Security Breach in 2021, and, like, the end of 2021. And then you go from that to Ruin in 2023, Help Wanted in 2024, I think, or maybe it was end of year 2023. Okay, I'll give them that. And then Secret in 2025. Like, you're going, it's like a 2-year cycle. Which is, compare that to getting, like, 3 games in 1 year. It makes it harder to really grasp what's going on. Because it's like, oh, you're introducing this thing to set up in the next game. But then if it takes, 15,000 freaking years for the next game to come out, there's not much else you can do, but I don't think people quite understand that, and so they'll just keep picking over the same things over and over again and trying to force meaning into things, and then the whole thing gets misconstrued, and it's like, well, you lost the plot there, and then a new game comes out, and they're like, well, this is freaking nonsense, but it's like, well, yeah, because you spent the last 2 years going insane combing over a game that you already, extracted everything from. And like, of course things are going to start looking like things if you look at it enough. If you look at some minute detail enough, eventually, yeah, it's going to look like a big deal. Even if it's not, even if it was just a throwaway thing. Something like the sister location room. Something like the Curse of Dreadbear room. Something like the Plush Baby room. Things that are probably just meant to be Easter eggs. Just silly little, haha, look at this. Became big deals because people had nothing better to do because there wasn't any other game to play. Whereas, like, in the earlier FNAF games, there wasn't time for that. There wasn't time to nitpick over some small, singular thing because it was like, oh, we gotta focus on the next game. So it's just like a waiting game now. It's like, you just gotta wait it out. And see when the next game's gonna either confirm or deny what people are talking about. But it sucks when you gotta wait 2 years for that. At this point, the movies have a quicker turnaround than the games do. Not really, but I wish they went smaller, I guess, is what I'm saying. I wish they had smaller scopes with the games. Because this is really not helping anybody. Like, I don't think anyone's... I know people got tired of the FNAF formula, but, like... And I'm not saying it should go back to 2D, look left, look right, but, like... This... FNAF doesn't need this, This series does not need this direction. It's going in a direction that I don't know. It's iffy. Like, the thing that made it scary in the first place was that it was small and confined. So when you have something like this where it's gigantic, you're missing the point, And a good thing about those games being so small and confined is, like, you had to be concise with the lore. Like there wasn't any room to have throwaway stuff. Everything was there for a reason because it could be, because it was a very small game and everything was very manageable to manage. Whereas in a game like this, you know, I doubt everything is there for a reason. I'm sure there's some stuff that is just thrown because they're like, we got to fill this space, you know. And when you have a series that's established a trend of everything being for a reason, and then you put out something like this, people are going to come over stuff that probably has no relevance, and it's going to be like a whole thing, like it has been. And it's funny how much this game gets analyzed, or got analyzed, and yet how little people actually extracted from it. It reminds me of FNAF 4. Like, for a game that was seemingly like supposed to be pretty explicit story-wise, and you know, pretty, you know, fleshed out and thought out, like, people haven't gotten that much from it. And yeah, the writing was terrible and all that, but like, there's probably something here that we're supposed to be getting that we just don't get, and it's like causing problems. But I feel like people kind of moved on from Security Breach. They just gave up on it, which is fair, you know, especially after Ruin comes out and, you know, what's it called? I hate to use the word retcon, but like retcons everything, you know? Because Ruin really didn't retcon things. It just put Security Breach under, you know, a new light. But oh, shut up, Freddy. And shoot you if you want. Why though? Because I hate you. I hate you. I hate how long? I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Jesus. Okay, I should wrap this up, huh? I was supposed to be talking about the order of deaths. Pretty sure I wished Elizabeth died first. Makes sense with FNAF 4, but I'm thinking Crying Child dies, then Elizabeth dies, and then Charlie dies. That's what I'm thinking. Although Circus Babies only opens after Freddy's closes, and Freddy's only closes after Charlie dies, so maybe it's Crying Child, then Charlie, then Elizabeth, but then also Crying Child's a lot about, you know, remember what you saw. A lot of people think what he saw was Charlotte's death, and is also, if people who believe in Bite Victim run away, a lot of people think he ran away because he witnessed Charlie's death and then like ran home, and you know, it's a whole thing. I like the idea of the Crying Child seeing Charlie's death and that kind of being what traumatizes him. FNAF 4 is just, you know, FNAF 4 is just not it. I don't know. I feel like I would need to talk to someone about this, like, in person, who knows, who's on the same kind of path that I'm on, like, for like it to really, because like I only know what I know. That's not a lot, and you know, I feel like people never agree with me, for one, which is fine. You know, it's fine, but like, I also feel like they're also pulling too much from things that they shouldn't be. Like, a lot of times I will say stuff and they'll be like, well, you know, according to the books, and I'm like, you lost me at according to the books, you know, like, my whole thing is like, I try not to pull from other things. I try to look at, like, strictly, because the games should really be solvable strictly from the games. Like, you shouldn't have to read the books, watch the movies to understand the lore. Like, the games are designed to be solved the way they are. Maybe with the help of, you know, the ultimate guide, maybe with the help of the character encyclopedia, but like, for the most part, you shouldn't need outside, like, the outside sources should only aid, but they shouldn't be they should not be your only basis. Which is why MCI 85 is sketchy to me. But we also have that in a game. We have Into the Pit as a game, which is nice. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I just need more people who don't reference books when talking about FNAF lore, especially Tales. When talking about old, well, actually, I'd actually now, well, this is before. Post Secret of the Mimic, I'd actually much rather them talk about Tales, but it's either people who talk about Tales to reference, like, old stuff, or people who talk about Frights to reference new stuff. It's like you're missing the point with those. People who reference the novels, I like those people. Because I think I mean, I just like the novels. That's why. But also, I feel like those are it's almost like it's circling back to those being relevant now. Like, we're seeing in the games a lot of stuff happening, with, like, coinciding with the novels. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully I will figure something out, and it'll all just make sense to me one day. That's usually how this stuff works. I won't lie. Usually, it just kind of comes to me. I'm not, like, in a deep thought process about it. I'm just like, I wonder if this is, like, how this could have happened. And I'm like, oh my god, this totally is. That's how I came to this location, 1986, conclusion, stuff like that. We'll see, though. We shall have to see. I mean, it feels like, with the stuff we have, there's just not much more to do. Which, like I said, is unfortunate, but, what are you gonna do, right? Not much you can, except just wait for the next game, which will probably be another 2 years. Or, maybe, just maybe, we will get either A, DLC for Help 1 and 2, or B, we'll get the stupid freaking Secret of the Mimic VR mode. God, I mean, that's... we've been waiting for that one for a while now. Probably we'll never get it, but, maybe someday. Hopefully. And maybe that'll add something new insight to the story. Probably not, but, one can hope. Freddy, I don't know. Freddy, I think I'm done, Freddy. I think I'm done. I'm gonna save so I don't have to dive for the save anymore. Just, overwrite your most recent. Define my most recent, though. December 31st, 2024. There was a 2025 one, wasn't there? There wasn't. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yes. Great. Okay. Well, Freddy, I am done with this. I can't be bothered anymore. I didn't use that as much as I thought I would. But,